rising spiritual community, good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you are. My name is Ebony Gnosticism, and today I'm going to be talking about integrating your shadow side to reach your higher self. All right, so the point of enlightenment or the point of spirituality is to be able to take the direct experience of being a human, to be able to rise up out of subjective thinking into objective thinking, and then to be able to provide a service to the rest of humanity, to help elevate the collective, if you will. So once you start to subject yourself to the ideology that you are more than what human is, then you're literally placing yourself right back down into subjective thinking. And one thing you have to be aware of is that our 3D reality, this third dimension, is run off levels. So at the base level, you have subjectivity, right? So you have your negatives and positives. You have all of your emotions. And the fact of the matter is, most of us here in the 3D realm, we're all here. We're down in the bottom part of the level. We are run by our emotions. We are making irrational decisions based off how we feel, which in turn basically controls the way that we think, or should I say the way that we perceive we think. But the trap in this is that you are not in control of your emotions. They are a part of you, but they do not belong to you. And when it comes to your thoughts, you are not your thoughts. They are a part of you, but they do not belong to you. They are literally portions of a personality that was built into you, programmed, if you will. So the issue, or the facts, if you go on to YouTube, if you go on Instagram, I guarantee you this is what you're going to see, is that you have these spiritual gurus and you have these spiritual guides and you have these life coaches who are literally speaking to you as though they have reached a pinnacle of consciousness, and as though they are there already, as though they are on this throne, and that they are offering you information in order to press you up into where they are. Not that you're on the same plane, that you are literally beneath them in humanity, and that they, through their sun gazing, through their meditation, through their veganism, have somehow realized the key to enlightenment. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? There's nothing wrong with meditation. There's nothing wrong with veganism. There's nothing wrong with sun gazing. In fact, there's absolutely nothing wrong with identifying with being something other than human. You know, you hear a lot about being the chosen one. You hear a lot about being God. You hear a lot about being extraterrestrial. But what this does is, instead of open up your mind and broaden your horizons mentally to believe and to know that there are existences beyond yourself, is it promotes division. And this division goes against the unity, or what should be unity, on this 3D level. So we're going to talk about that, and well, let's get into it. In order to elevate yourself upwards out of subjectivity and into, I would say, enlightenment or reaching your highest potential, you're going to have to get out of this line of subjectivity, right? So you're going to have to stop thinking with your emotions, or stop allowing your emotions to control your decisions. Furthermore, you're going to have to get to a point to where you are objective. And being objective is being non-judging, accepting things for what they are, accepting reality for what it is, but moving forward through ambition and not passion. See, passion is an emotion, and so long as you're locked in passion, you're never going to be able to elevate. Now, these spiritual leaders, if you will, they are human beings just like us, just like you, and just like myself. Their videos, if you listen to them intently, if you listen to them, if you see them for what they really are, these are people who have been hurt, who are probably being hurt, and in order to escape out of that pain, they're gonna say, I'm not human. This is why I'm going through this. I'm not human. This is why I struggle so much. And in order for me to get out of this pain, I have to elevate it out of the humanity. But this is not the way. See, the point of humanity is to realize that you have your light and your darkness. You have your day, you have your night, right? You have ups and downs. You're never going to be able to escape the negative parts of this existence because they are here for you to learn from. You need to experience these parts of life in order to become the best version of yourself. So, to conclude on this particular part, I'm not saying that the people that you watch and that you listen to and that you take your advice from are completely irrelevant or fraudulent. However, understand that they are talking to you through a place of pain, and that in a way they are themselves stuck in an ego trap that is truly keeping them from realizing their true potential. So now you're going to say, well, Ebony, if I'm human, if I can't separate myself from being human, if I can't be this deity, if I can't be this angel, if I can't be this chosen one, how do I enlighten myself? Well, like I said previously, you're going to want to deal with your shadows as they come. The only place that shadow does not dwell is in a dark room. So within yourself, within this vessel, you have to realize that there's going to be darkness there despite everything that you do. That no amount of meditation, that no amount of life eating, that no amount of sun gazing is going to get you to the point to where you are above it all, because that's not the point. Being above it all is the opposite of what you're trying to do. You should be integrating yourself with this shadow side, accepting it for what it is, utilizing it as a source to know when you're being authentic with yourself. So, for example, I meditate. I'm an off and on vegetarian, so there are a lot of string of days where I'm eating fruits and vegetables pretty much, and I feel great, and I know that it does well for my health, the vessel's strength. However, the eating and the sun gazing and the meditation isn't what keeps me balanced. It's understanding that I have a dark side, and that sometimes I have to key in on this dark side to understand where I'm going. And that keeps me balanced, and that keeps me going on that up trajectory. That allows me to live outside of a subjective realm and to further along into objectivity. So a couple tips on how to integrate the shadow. Let's look at your hobbies. Let's look at the things in which you have come to know as norm and have possibly tied into your spirituality, right? So you look at me. I have my beads on, and I have my ring, the horse. I have Horus here. And they are steady reminders of the path in which I am pushing myself to. However, don't for a moment believe that these things are what pushes you forward themselves. It's not. They are reminders. They are also a part of your vanity. They're a part of my vanity, which means I'm tapping into that vanity. I'm understanding that this is me being in vain, and I'm utilizing that part of myself in order to keep myself from being vain. Or with my meditation, I'll go out and I'll sit in the sun and I'll soak it up and I'll absorb it, recharge it, if you will. However, that night, I might sit in front of my monitor and play a video game instead of reading something that is going to further along my spiritual journey. And the reason for this is because for every good action you have, you're gonna have some negative feedback. This is simply the way. So be mindful of what you're doing. Be mindful of the habits that you build and you continue on with, because the shadow side of that is the exact thing that you want to be looking at to maintain objective thinking. You want to keep in mind that if anything that you are participating in, whether it's negative or positive, if it's driving a wedge in between you and the collective, if it is pushing you away from your brothers and sisters, then it's an ego trap, and it's keeping you right down in the level that you are trying to escape. If you feel like this video helped you at all, if you feel like it gave you a new processing capability, then please share, like, and subscribe, and pass this on to people who you feel like would be able to benefit from it as well. And as always, keep your vibes high and your mind quick.